Okay, so let's talk about scaling a sales team because that's kind of where we started, and I feel like that's like the key to building a 7-figure wholesale business is. That's for the highlight reel.
Oh, okay. I was like, am I supposed to talk now? I'm like, dang.
Well, I think it is building a sales team.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be a solopreneur where it's everything rides and dies on your shoulders.
100%.
So when did you start building a sales team? And talk to me about that process.
So Andrew was one of our first hires, and so he was the first one, and
remember, no one knows who Andrew is.
yeah, so Andrew's one of our, he's an acquisitions guy who's been with us since he was in high school. So Andrew was 18 at the time, and we just went to a self-development seminar that Tony and I put on, my business partner and I. We put on a self-development seminar, met Andrew, came to Ryan Pineda's event, and he's like, you know what, you guys, if you really want to start scaling, you have to hire people. I'm like, you know what, let's hire salespeople.
Let's hire this guy.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, exactly. I was like, we should hire a salesperson. And then I also watched Undercover Billionaire with Grant Cardone, and then I saw him hiring different people, and like that's the first thing he did in order to build a multi-million-dollar business. It's like, okay, seems like we need people, because I used to be that person who thought I could do it all myself, and I'm like, I'm got this skill set and I'm really good at all this stuff, which I can do it all, but it's not scalable. And so I was like, all right, we need an acquisitions guy. Let me call this one kid that I did this exercise with at the self-development seminar. Had no idea what he was going to turn into, and he was just hungry. And so he was in high school, like in school till about 11 a.m., 12 midday, come in and cold call up until like 5, 6, 7, 8. Like I was there a lot late. And so he was there with me just calling. And then he just shadowed me the whole time. He shadowed me for like 3, 4 months. He was going on appointments with me. He saw me close. He heard the way I talked. Like if you hear Andrew, like, I mean, you know him now.
Yeah.
He sounds like 90% the same as me. The way he talks, the way he says.
He says frickin'.
Yeah. Just like in a sales conversation, he sounds even more like me because it's a script that I wrote. And so then he's saying the same exact things as I would say. Sometimes the timing of which he says them is a little different, and he's a little faster pace than I am. And I think that I build a little bit more rapport, but he's 90% the same.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how it all started. Honestly, the way that we found the second guy was the guy who just kept coming to me and he wanted to partner up. He had a deal. His name's Luis, by the way. So he came into the company he had a deal. He had it locked up for, I think he said 90. And then he's like, I think I can sell it for 100. I'm like, bro, let me go on the appointment with you. I go to the appointment. I get it locked up for 80, and then we sold it for 110. So he was going to make 10. Now he's making 15 because he got me involved. But also he got to learn how to do that, how to close and all that stuff. And so he kept bringing me deals that I just kept negotiating and closing for him. And then he was learning like that. He also, that company, there's a wholesale company, they're renting office space similar like this. They're renting office space from us, and they just kept wanting to partner up on deals. So then they started hearing the way we close. Then Andrew became good friends with them. He's like, bro, you got to come on our team. You got to come on our team. You got to come on our team. So Andrew was actually recruiting Luis more than I was. And then one day Luis just came in the office. He's like, hey, dude, I want to work for you. And I'm like, dude, you work for the other company. And are you ready to go right now? He's like, oh, let me think about it. I'm like, dude, don't come into my office again unless you're ready to go. I'm like, if you're doing it, you're going all in, because he's kind of wishy-washy. So anyway, so I was like, bro, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it.
Funny.
And so I like set a boundary.
So
and so anyway, that's how we got him.
Yeah.
And he's been a beast too.
Yeah.
From there, honestly, like when we started posting and stuff and people saw how many deals we're closing, and like people knew me from car sales too, because I did pretty well at that. And there's different plaques and photos of me in the dealership. And so then they're like, oh, dang, like people wanted to work through us through that. So that's helped a lot for recognition, and then people reaching out wanting to learn how to do this. So then usually I just put them through the cold calling process. And then from there, if they start to do well, because we've ran through people that didn't work out, and it's like, nah, you don't got it. And it just is what it is. There's car sales guys that can't sell. They just, it's a different thing when you're reaching out to someone as opposed to them coming in for a brand that they already like, want, and everything. you can develop a lot of skills in car sales, but just because you're in car sales doesn't mean you're good.